Hey everybody, it's Rosie. This is Spectral Sailor, and Jason is with me. And we have, go ahead.
Matt
And we have special guest who's going to introduce himself.
I am Matt Warner from Warner Paranormal Explorers, located south of Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you for having me.
Hey Michelle and Adam. Go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, we're happy to have you on. I was gonna say something earlier, just right before we came on, but how many members are on your team?
So there is 4 of us. It's myself. The team started. I created this team about 2.5 years ago now, and it started as myself and my daughter. I used to belong to a different team, and I had a different focus on what I wanted to do and get out of the paranormal. So I started it with my daughter. She's 11 now. She loves doing all the spooky stuff with me. We do a lot of urbex, a lot of ghost hunts. We do paranormal conventions, lectures, all that stuff together. And then I added one of my best friends and her now husband to round it out. So it's the 4 of us. We're like a dysfunctional, goofy little family, and we just have a lot of fun doing it. They just got married about a month ago, so their whole life the past year has been getting ready for the marriage and all that good stuff. So they haven't been able to do as much with me lately, but I'm the one that goes and does all the traveling, and they join when they can. And my daughter comes with me when she feels like it, basically, because she's 11. So
awesome.
Everyone's saying hello from a bunch of people that are on Paranormal United Network, and then Aaron.
Hi, baby girl. That's she's over in Scotland, 5 hours in the future.
Oh my goodness, 5 hours in the future. That sounds really funny. It's really cool that your daughter goes with you. That's cool. Your daughter goes with you, and that she's like interested in something like this at her age. I feel like, because it'll teach her a lot of different other kinds of skills, like like paying attention to detail and like investigative skills, and just like traveling as well. And my daughter's 17. She's been doing. Me and Jason have a team called Night Terror Collective, and she's been going places with us for the last couple years, doing investigations. And she's not really as much into it anymore because she's 17 and she has a boyfriend. Yeah. So boyfriend precedes everything else, but she did like doing that stuff, and she enjoyed it.
It's it's a fun thing to bond with, and you've probably run across this. I get flack from a lot of areas, but I can't believe you bring your child to do that. It's completely safe. It's under my supervision. It's no different than allowing her to pursue softball or cheerleading or soccer or anything else. It's just an interest. We're not out performing exorcisms on the weekend out of the back of a trunk or anything like that. We're just exploring and having fun. So
also, I feel like it's almost just kind of like playing Dungeons and Dragons or something, but in real life, I don't know. I see people out playing.
It's more acceptable.
Yeah. It is. Doesn't mean, you're smarter either way or the other, but, yeah. Hey, Jill and Dawn, and it's saying these names. Oh, it's Courtney. Okay. It said under the Paranormal United Network. I was like, who's talking? Because it'll say whoever of us is under there. And if we don't put our name, we don't know which one of us it is.
The mystery.
Huh? One of who knows. Yeah, it's anonymous. I was wanting to ask you, the one place that we had been to that I was telling you have been to, and what you thought about it was Waverly.
Mm-hmm. I've been to Waverly a couple times, 3 times actually. And it's always a different experience. I don't know if anywhere actually lives up to the hype. I will lead in with that, because hype destroys everything for me. Whether it's a movie, a CD, for those that still listen to CDs, all that. Like hype is a destroyer of worlds. So I try to go into these places and just focus on what I want to get out of it. I never expect to watch one of those terrible 42-minute ghost shows and have that same experience, because you're not going to have that experience, because they could have been there for 40 or 50 hours filming that. So for me, I've had great experiences there every time. This last time we were there, I was there with a group of my friends back in March of this year, and we all had great experiences. And the experiences change because the building changes. The energy in the buildings change. The more people that go there, I believe, and a lot of us believe, that you're leaving a little bit of residue of yourself. You could have an attachment, and it might just be like, you know what, I like Waverly better than you, dumbass. I'm going to stay here. So who knows what kind of collective things are just being shed like skin cells as we go to these other places. So it's always different. When we were there this time, now the lobby is one of the most active places. And when I went there prior, that wasn't even mentioned on the tour. We didn't even go to the lobby. It was just a place you didn't even, it's like you cut through to use one of the staircases. But now it's been more documented and more activity has been reported there. So it's ever changing. And that's what I like about a place like that. Is so huge. You need to do it multiple times to actually get the feel of it.
Yeah, we went there just a few months ago. Me and Jason did, and that was a very active area. The lobby, like, I didn't so much investigate the lobby myself. I was very invigorated with just like obsessed with different floors. And we were actually doing this show right here live in one of the rooms. It was on the second floor by the nurses station, so we did a show live in a spirit box session in one of those rooms, and that kind of took up part of the night. But like, I didn't really know that was that active until everyone else went with us, and like that went with us from Paranormal United Network told us that it was active, and I wondered if it was because all those coffins are in there. I don't know.
You never know. And when the first time I went there, none of that was even there. The building it didn't look like it does now. The first time I was there was a little over 5 years ago. They've done a lot of work since then.
Yeah.
Which, part of me, it's disheartening, because I want it to look old and crappy, because that's the look I like.
Yeah.
But I understand they got to preserve a building too.
Then it looks haunted. And as they keep progressing, like redoing it to turn it into like the bed and breakfast or the hotel or whatever, I feel like it's just going to look, I don't know, unless they preserve it to look back the way, like the style or the era or the, like year that it did when a lot of stuff happened, then I don't feel like it'll be as exciting. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, that place is pretty massive. Like you were kind of saying, you see it on the shows and everything, but it really doesn't do it justice until you're actually there and see how big it really is. There's some places in there that we didn't even get to because it was so big, and we were having activity in spots we were in. So
that's bound to happen. You're not going to leave a place once you have the activity. It's like everything else is going to be on the back burner until you can move on. Right. And you do run out of time for sure.
Yeah, we only got to stay one night. Me and Jason did, and it kind of was like, man, we totally needed to stay another night at least.
Yeah, I feel like when we go back there, because I say when, because we'll go back there and just have a different plan, since we kind of know the building's layout and everything now, and kind of where some places we want to hit. But we got a lot of activity, like she said, on the second floor there, and by the nurses station there. And we just kind of spend a lot of time there. And like you said, you don't want to leave if there's a lot of activity.
Yeah, I don't remember what this is. I know I've heard of it before, probably like a long time ago. But what says Waverly has a Stonewall theory.
I've not heard of that.
I have, because I think it's based on like the Stonewall Jackson story, but I can't remember what the theory is, like what they mean. That was from Jill. She also said,
I'm not exactly sure.
She said they should renovate one wall they should renovate, but keep one wall in each room original.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take some time for what they're trying to do, but
they have a very long-term plan for what they want to do, and quite frankly, I hope it doesn't come to fruition, because I don't want their long-term plan to come to fruition. But
hey, Animal Films, I haven't seen them in here before. I know who they are, but
what's up, Animal?
The wall records the energy and then replays it. I do believe that can be true.
That makes sense. Like a limestone being a conductor for energy and all that kind of stuff. I can that.
or any element, something, anything that can hold any kind of energy or charge, like any kind of stone.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's some other places that I don't actually even know if I've heard of or not, but they sounded cool anyways because I like asylums. So what is the Kings Park Psychiatric Center? What can you tell us about that place?
So Kings Park is actually in Long Island, New York, in the town surprisingly known as Kings Park. It was a massive psychiatric center that was built, I want to say early 1900s, maybe late 1800s. They started the process of it. It was to create a place to send the overflow from Brooklyn and the city for psych patients. Over the years, like all of these psychiatric places, they wind up getting closed down due to overcrowding mostly, and sometimes inhumane practices, things like that. It's been abandoned now. I want to say the last building, which is the building 39 or 37, the big 13-story building, I think was up until like the late 90s, early 2000s, only a couple floors were used, and it's just been since then shut down. But now it's preserved. The land is preserved as a state park. So you're free to walk the grounds and do your thing. Everybody out there is walking dogs. And there is got to be a
So there's
dozen.
poop everywhere.
I didn't run into any of that. So that's
Okay,
that's a plus.
that would be not cool, especially at night. You're stepping on it.
It probably would have been better than the mold and stuff that I was breathing in the buildings. But
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
will preface this by saying you are not supposed to go in these buildings, but I did not ignore any signage. Take from that what you will. But because police do patrol the area. I'm not telling anyone to do that. So you make up your own minds. I'm not getting blamed for this, but you find your way in any of them. They're all accessible in their own way, and it's just for me. I love exploring buildings like that. It's such a raw feel. I like doing that probably more than ghost hunting. And I feel like these places have a ton of energy that is untapped because it's not focused on ghost hunting. And we've had experiences in these types of buildings before that really make the hair on your neck stand up.
Because they're not regularly visited as a ghost hunting hotspot or whatever. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is what I believe. But
Sorry.
the campus is massive. We were there last month, and we were there. We spent about 4 hours there. We didn't even get to check everything out. We spent a lot of time in a couple of different locations, but there was more to see, and it's just we ran out of time. So I don't suggest anyone go there and go in, but go check the place out and do what you need to do.
We just had a story the other night from the Ghosty girls and their mom about the police and a helicopter coming because they were in a location that was supposed to not be trespassed upon or whatever, and it was like a multi-million-dollar home, but it had been abandoned for several years, and they went into it, and they came out, and there were police with guns. I was like, "Damn!"
You know the
Huh?
place?
It was in California. I'm not sure, but I can actually ask her. I can tell you.
Like that right now that are being highly watched because unfortunately, not all of us are respectful when we go into these places. A lot of people like to break things, do graffiti, destroy things, and that is the reason that the police are watching these places. If everyone went in, just took pictures and left things alone, no one would know you were there, and there would be no need to bother. But people are stupid.
Instead of trashing it up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So there's a lot of places in Boston area that's good to investigate, right? Like just up there and also in the state too, you know.
There's a lot. I mean, New England is pretty rich with the history. Obviously, growing up here, I grew up and still live within what's called considered the Bridgewater Triangle, which is a known 200 square mile hotspot of activity that was dubbed in the 70s by Lauren Coleman, who created the Cryptozoology Museum. It's an area it's just been rife with reports of all sorts of paranormal and supernatural activity, everything from ghosts to UFOs to Bigfoot, all the different cryptids. You know, it's one of those things. If it could happen, it's happened here. So I grew up around a lot of different areas where I could go, just check things out, and had experiences growing up. But some of the bigger areas, obviously we have the Conjuring House in Harrisville, Rhode Island, which is about an hour from me. I go there quite frequently. We have the Oliver House in Middleborough, Mass, which has ties to the pre-Revolutionary War, and it's like a timestamp. You walk in and you feel like you're in a history book. It's fantastic, and the women that work there and run it are amazing people, and the town actually owns it. They support the fact that it's a haunted location, and they raise funds and put it right back into the house. So they're preserving history. It's fantastic there. We have the S.K. Pierce Mansion in Gardner, Mass. Another one. They're doing a fantastic job of renovating that and keeping that preserved. God, what else? I mean, we have so many. There's so many places. Obviously, the Lizzie Borden House, which has gone under new purchase, and
that's where I want to go.
It's upset so many people because people are changing it, but it's a business at the end of the day. They have to make money. I fully get it, and so we got that, and we got the USS Salem haunted heavy cruiser in Quincy, Mass. Been on there a bunch of times. That's an excellent location.
Where's it at? The haunted USS Salem?
Quincy, Mass.
Okay.
Which is just south of Boston. It's like 10 minutes south of Boston.
That's actually Mass, like close to Queens, New York?
Queens, New York to there would probably be about 4.5 hours.
Okay. I was just saying, you said it was close. It was at Queensy, Mass, and I thought that meant it was close to Queens.
Quincy, like John Quincy Adams, the president.
Oh, Quincy. Okay.
I have an accent.
That's okay. Yeah. York. Walk
I mean, you guys have the accent, not me, but you know, it's
we both have the accent. They're just kind of opposite of each other.
Yeah.
What is this? What is that tale? What is that? Tales of Texas behind you on the wall. I saw that.
Those are all different horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
Tattoo artist that I go to, he designs all these himself and draws them out. You can find them actually on Theater of Creeps, Facebook, or theaterofcreeps.com. He draws all those, and I can't stop buying them because they're fantastic.
Theater of Creeps.
What kind of Texas?
Sorry, I got to write everything down because I don't remember stuff. I'm old.
I've been to the hospital, actually. I have some friends down in Texas. I've not been to Texas yet for anything, and that's on my short list of states to visit potentially next year because I want to do some things down there. If people pulling my hand to get down there, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Joshua, Plymouth is one of my favorite, if not my favorite city to go and spend the day at. We have the Burial Hill Cemetery where a lot of the original pilgrims are buried from the Mayflower. The history there is crazy. The first documented haunted house in the United States is in Plymouth. It was the first one that was recognized as a haunted house. It was an actual court case that went in front of a judge that they were trying to prove that this house was haunted, and that's why this guy was having issues and didn't want to pay his rent and all that stuff. So Plymouth is cool.
So did he want out of the contract but they wouldn't let him out of it or something? Because I think I heard about this somewhere once, like, back down the pipe somewhere. I've heard about it. Yeah, that he was trying to get out of it.
Tour guide down in Plymouth does a great job with it.
Oh, you're lying. You just don't want to. You don't want to. You just want to break the contract. No, it's haunted. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I did not know it was one of the first, or it was the first place that was considered haunted. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It was the first one recognized in the court of law as a haunted house.
Okay, the first one recognized in the court of law.
That's pretty cool. You're pretty lucky to live in the area you are, as far as especially loving everything paranormal. It's really kind of a hot spot. You got all the things around you, so that's pretty cool.
I'm definitely happy. I am spoiled. I'm to the point where I feel I've done them all so much. That's why I travel all the time. Like, been there, done that, been there, done that. But I'm always drawn back to certain places. I just love some of the places around here, and especially the people. And I truly appreciate anyone that's holding on and restoring the history and preserving it for generations to come. That means so much to me because I'm a history person.
Yeah,
so that's just as important to me as the ghosts.
Right.
Hey, Amanda. That's a new face too. Is that one of your friends?
It's one of my peeps. Hi, Amanda.
Okay, I was like, I haven't seen her before. At least she's new. She belongs to you.
But yeah, you're definitely talking about, like, since we're from Oklahoma, so you were talking about coming down to Texas and everything, and it's like Rosie and I want to go up there where you're at, so
yeah. If you want anything Native American, come to Oklahoma for sure, or Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'm open. I want to see as much of this country's offerings as humanly possible. That's my end goal. I do this because I enjoy it. It's fun for me. I love traveling. I love meeting new people. I love the history aspect, and I just like seeing new places. So for me, I'm willing to go anywhere where there's, even potentially reported activity. Even if it's just a town that's got abandoned buildings, I'll go take pictures all day and be completely content.
Me
So
too.
that's what it's all about. Like next year, my goal is to get out and do some events in the Kansas City area, out in Iowa, and Texas is on the short list. So all these different places I'm completely up for.
Yeah.
I'm still sharing. I'll share until I can't share anymore and they block me from sharing.
Eastern State Penn, James, Eastern State Penn is awesome. I've been there 3 or 4 times. And the problem with Eastern State Penn is that they have done away with paranormal investigating. They don't allow it anymore. They don't allow rentals for it. They're trying to get away from the haunted aspect. But what I've done every time I go there is you pay, I think it's $15 right now. It might be 20 for the day tour. It covers you for the entire day. You come and go as you please. It's self-guided. I bring in a couple of pieces of ghost hunting equipment with me, and I walk around and I ghost hunt during the day. Nobody bothers me. And you get the same interactions you would at night because ghosts don't sleep, in my opinion. So low-key, cheap-ass ghost hunt, that's the way I roll. And I've been able to say I've ghost hunted ESP. And I've told other people to do the same thing. You just don't make a spectacle of yourself. Don't walk in looking like on from the Ghostbusters with a whole bag full of stuff. But if you want to walk around with something easy, that's all it is,
Yeah.
Oh, so Tor, you knock it off. You're so happy to see me.
There's someone said, who let Matt Warner in here?
I've got a story about the Whaley House event. I have low-key investigated the Whaley House also. It's when I had one of my very first
San Diego
paranormal experiences at the Whaley House. So for those of you that don't know the Whaley House, it's the oldest house in San Diego. It's been a courthouse, the jail, the gallows, everything. And the Whaley family built it and lived there. Now it's a kind of like a standing in time museum. Same deal. You walk yourself through. It's like $12. And they have a few actors in there in period garb that tell you the stories. I knew about the house from, it could have been sightings or one of those really old ghost shows. And
I think I've been there before.
The place is fantastic.
So I've been to San Diego several times.
And we were walking around, and I went upstairs, and I saw an older woman dressed up. And I said, I don't need history. I want to know your ghost stories. Tell me the ghost stuff. So she's explaining. She's about 10 feet in front of me. Now, all the rooms you could walk into, like you'd walk in and they had like almost like deck railing around it. So you could walk into the room like a foot and look in there, but not walk in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I was standing in front of a bedroom about 3 feet away, and she's talking to me. She's like, oh, there's a portal in this house, and we believe it's right here from the basement right up. I'm like, oh, no kidding. And I was standing there, arms by my side, and I felt something grab my hand like this and pull. My daughter was really young at the time, and I knew that feeling. It was a child grabbing your hand, like, come with me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what the hell? And I looked, and it wasn't my ex who I was with. And I'm looking, and I'm trying to figure it out. And the woman goes, did something just happen? I said, yeah, something just touched me. She goes, that's only happened to one other person. It never happens here. I look behind me. I'm standing in front of a kid's room. Mm-hmm. So my belief, the child wanted to play with me. Yeah. I've known since then that child spirits are more drawn to me than adult spirits, or at least what I...
Me too.
What I believe our children's spirits. I think it's because I am a child. I've never grown up. I have Peter Pan syndrome. I don't take anything in life seriously. I just have fun with it. So I believe they're drawn to me, and that was the best $12 I ever spent. That was an experience I'll always remember. So the Whaley House,
That's not bad, yeah.
Everyone should check out the Whaley House.
Because now it's getting more expensive to get into places at the moment.
Well, yeah, COVID's made that. Mark Wahlberg of the Paranormal. It could be worse. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Matt, you're going to come in on me too? All right, guys. Hey, yeah, thanks for coming out, though.
The standards. Y'all don't know us. No, you don't know me like that. No, I'm just kidding. That's funny.
So, Tori, you love us Massachusetts people.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go there, and I've never been there. I really wanted to go there, and I know. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's not an airport anywhere in the whole town where the Conjuring House is, right?
No, but you're not far from Providence Airport, TF Green.
Okay, because I was looking recently for flights there, and I was like, dude, there's no way. You'd have to get a rental car. You can't fly there. There's no airports near that place.
Even if you flew into Boston Logan Airport, you're still only going to be about an hour and 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
It's really
but you can't walk.
Well, yeah, if you flew into TF Green Airport, you'd be half an hour away, maybe.
TF Green Airport. Okay.
That's
yeah,
probably
the one that I saw.
You were searching for a flight, just looking to Providence, you'd be good. And the Conjuring House, I highly recommend. I've been there a bunch of times. I'm friendly, fortunately, with the owners, so I get to hang out with them a lot. And that's another place. It's a different experience every time you go. It's definitely active, and but it's not evil. It's not. You're not going to get thrown through a window because you're there. It's not like that. But you do need to. Everyone needs to experience it. I always tell people that. What's up, Jeremy? Big part, I wouldn't say big part. I feel like I didn't do anything, but I tried to help.
For San Diego, $12 is cheap. Amen to that.
This is true, and that was like 7 or 8 years ago, so it's probably $20-something now.
Oh wow, yeah.
But still worth it, just to say you've been in the Whaley House.
I think it's been a 3 years since I've been there, but before that it had been about 10 years. Like San Diego, San Diego is my favorite place in the United States that I've actually been so far, besides Atlanta, Georgia.
San Diego is my favorite city in the whole country.
Yeah, mine too. Like there's just something about it.
I can't live there, otherwise I would.
It's like a melting pot, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. They have authentic Mexican food without the Mexican drug cartels. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the people there were so nice. Like I just didn't know they'd be that nice. That everyone there was like, "Hey, you're my brother. You're my sister." It was so welcoming. And it was surprising, looking at some of the comments. And there was some more places I'd written down. What is the Fairfield City Infirmary?
Fairfield County Infirmary is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Yeah. And I don't know a ton of the history on it. I'm going to get in trouble by Adam Kimmel, who owns it. He's not watching anyways. I know he ain't wasting his time watching me. But Fairfield County Infirmary has been a bunch of different things. It had a funeral parlor in it at one point in time. It has a morgue. And it was, I believe, it was never an asylum, but it was like a sick type hospital. So I'm not 100% sure what it always was. But that place, I've been there a couple of times now. I was there last week, 2 weekends ago, for what they call FCICon. It was the first Paracon they had there. It was a fundraiser for Blue Star Mothers of America. So that was a good time. It's another active location. It's got a bizarre setup to it. Upstairs, they have what they refer to as the chicken coop, and it's like this caged-in area in the attic. And in one area, there's actual shackles bolted to the wall that they used to chain people up to. Not 100% sure why, or what they did up there, or what reason it was, but they are there. The original chains are still hanging there. And we were there. Obviously, when you go to one of these events, these conventions, the ghost hunts are a little bit hard to deal with. Hey, Matt. So you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt. But we were investigating on, I think it was the third floor in the hallway near, there's some jail cells where they used to hold. There was a woman's jail cell and a male jail cell when it was like it's kind of like a halfway house, but more strict. So if they broke curfew or they came back drunk or on drugs, they would put them in this holding cell until they sobered up. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting there, we're hearing interactions down there. We're hearing interactions down the hall. Then we're hearing heavy footsteps up above us in the attic rooms. So one of us would run up there. There's nothing up there. Whatever was there was definitely playing with us. But we saw shadow movement. We had all kinds of things happening there. And that location has only been known for about a year and a half. Yeah, Satori, we should go to Rocky Point. I've actually never been there. I never went there when it was open, but I've always wanted to go just because it's abandoned. I want to take pictures. If you'll invite me or not, I don't know if you don't want to be rude that day, I'd love to go.
That's pretty cool. It sounds like that's an interesting place. It's interesting to know why they were chained up.
That seems unique, kind of too.
Yeah, and like I said, I've only been there a couple times. I'm bad about absorbing the history lessons from people when I go. I'm just so jazzed up to just be taking photos and doing my thing that I'm like, oh, why is this like this? And it's like, you missed it. Like, yeah, I know. But I've been there a few times. Adam Kimmel has done a great job bringing that place back up. He also owns Madison Seminary in Madison, Ohio, another great location and very affordable. There's a lot of tours offered there all the time. It's not one of those places that you need to sell a kidney to afford to investigate, which is nice.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like Rosie was saying a while ago, like a lot of places are getting that way. It's where it's just outrageous. Where they want to charge a couple $1,000s for people to come in. Sometimes, it's insane to me. I understand sometimes, you're putting that money back into a location, but also it's also just trying to take advantage of the money grab part of it a lot of times too. And that's just what we run into, and it is what it is, I guess. But
and that is a shame. I do understand, but like you said, you got to make money. But there's a place in New England. I'm not going to name it because it's not professional, but they've almost tripled their price, and it's not worth the money. It's like I have this mentality. I'd rather reach people in volume. I call it the target mentality. I'd rather sell things affordable and sell 20 of them than charge and sell 10 of them because I'm reaching more people that way.
Right.
Yep.
It is the paranormal in general. The whole field has gotten really cutthroat in every aspect, and that's part of it. All these locations charging way too much money. But people pay it. They'll continue to raise the prices if people pay it.
Right. Especially if a location ends up on one of the, the main network shows. If that happens, then it's just, they get a lot of them get a big head, So I don't know. They make it hard for people who do the same thing. It's just, there's no money obviously because we don't make money doing this.
Some do, but those ones are very fortunate. Those people.
Right. Yeah.
Have you ever caught shadow people? This is a question for you. Have you ever caught shadow people on camera or anything creepy?
I don't know how much I can say about this. So, without giving it away, I just filmed a documentary with some friends under the collective name as Project Mask Media. We have a documentary coming out. It's a docuseries, 3 parts. It'll be out in the end of September. We're actually debuting it at Madison Seminary where we filmed it at MadCon, the convention.
Awesome.
And we caught some evidence on there that is it's like 5-star evidence. It is creepy. And I'll tell you right now, I'm terrible about reviewing evidence. That's why I don't really record stuff anymore. I just live the moment. I never would have seen it. But Matt Fioli, who did all the editing, he caught it, and you watch it, and it's like, holy crap. First of all, how'd you catch that? Because I wouldn't have. But when you see it, it's exactly what it is. So
wow,
that's the most recent thing. But, yeah, we've caught all kinds of good stuff. It's mostly, like most people will tell you, it's usually personal experiences when you're not recording or out of your peripheral doesn't catch it. But
yeah.
To me,
or when you have nobody with you, and you're like, man, why did that happen when I'm by myself?
Am I going to the temple? What temple?
I think she's asking about the Masonic temple where we're having the FearFest Paracon in September. It's on the 24th and 25th.
I have no idea.
We're having a big convention there. Paranormal United Network.
Is it Oklahoma?
No, it's in Salina, Kansas at a Masonic temple. It's really neat.
I'm trying to
really
think.
awesome.
Is that like the big, huge Masonic temple that's there?
It's very huge, yeah. It's called the Salina Temple. It's 160,000 square feet.
Does it got like the big columns out front?
Yeah, and it has 100 and something gargoyles. I'm pretty sure, like over 100.
That place looks really cool. I would love to go there if my September wasn't crazy.
Yeah. If you're not busy that day, those days it's the 24th and 25th.
See, Erin just let everybody know that I will be in Scotland those days, if unfortunate. So you guys will be there for World's Largest Ghost Hunting Day then?
Yeah, we're going to celebrate that. Yep. And Mustafa's going to be there too from Ghost Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be leading the investigations.
Well, that'll be a good event.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be exciting. Scotland's pretty awesome too, though. I'm not going to lie. If I had a chance to go there to Scotland.
COVID keeping its things together and getting over there. And if I can get over there, I'm going to do my own little thing, National Ghost Hunting Day, or whatever they call it. And we're going to go to the really well-known cemetery in Edinburgh that night and do some guerrilla-style investigating from Scotland. So
I've heard of that city or that place, but I haven't heard of that cemetery. But I've heard other places there.
There's all kinds of lore with that cemetery. That there's a crypt or a tomb. I don't know what they refer to it as, but there's a crypt that's open that you can actually go into.
Oh, wow.
It said, you're not supposed to go in there at night, yada, yada, yada. Hey, Casey, can't wait to see you too, baby. So there's all sorts of lore of things you're not supposed to do. This will happen if you do this, that we're obviously going to do. So why not?
Wait.
It's
gonna be. I'm really
Oh,
excited.
you meet Sydney, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. I follow along over here too. I'm like, what's he talking about now?
Yeah, I didn't play the comment before that, and I was like, wait, I gotta go back. I gotta make it interesting. I gotta make it and make it aligned where it goes.
Now
hey, you're meeting us too. Oh yeah, you already met us. Jeremy already met us.
yeah, we hung out with Jeremy. Yeah. Hung out with Jeremy, investigated with him a little bit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we did have a cool experience. Like me and Jason did a spirit box session in the second floor room that was close to the nurse's station, and it was a room that belonged to two sisters named Lois and Audrey. I don't know if they told you that part of the story when you were there, but Lois died there, and Audrey survived and left Waverly. And we did a spirit box session live on this show. It was on a Monday night, like we're doing right now, and got some interaction. And it kept saying, I don't know if you know who Howard is, but he's one of our show hosts, and he's got 2 different shows on Paranormal United Network, and it kept saying his name. And then a few nights later, he had a blood clot and had to go to the hospital.
Ooh.
It was kind of like, I don't know. Everyone thought it was kind of like saying that we needed to give him that message, like it was warning him.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. It's coincidence or not, you can't look past the potential there.
No, because most of my personal experiences that I knew were personally pointed or directed towards me from a spiritual entity were warnings of some kind for something that happened later on.
See, I'm not intelligent enough to follow those signs. I just brush them off and never think about them again.
I tried to, but when they get so obvious that it's like your kids coming in saying, "What? Did you hear that? Did you see that? Did you see what happened?" Then it's kind of like, well, okay, I can't just brush it off because I don't like my kids to get spooked or scared. So I'll just be like, whatever. Not today, Satan. No. And then my daughter's coming in there and saying, okay, such and such flew off the cabinet. So-and-so made a noise and there's nobody in there. And this happened too. So tell me what's going on. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll acknowledge whatever it is that wants my attention so badly.
Yeah. But earlier, what you were saying too is like when you're being at a location and you're not filming and stuff happens. Yeah, that sucks. We've come across that.
That I'll tell you, that happens 9 times out of 10. It's just the nature of the beast. And I a while back, probably about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I said, you know what, I'm done trying to provide evidence or anything for people because that's not my goal in life. My goal in life is to get experiences that I can tell stories about to my grandkids. And just this is a really fun hobby for me. Maybe someday I'll get paid doing it and that would be great. But right now I'm just enjoying it. And I really focus on doing live investigations. I've been doing a lot more on TikTok lately and just enjoying it that way. I'm not worried about going home and editing anything or be like, oh, here's my masterpiece. No one cares, honestly, at the end of the day. Most people just don't care.
I don't. Usually I just
save my life. So no one's going to watch the crap that I make. And I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I do it for myself primarily, it's so much more enjoyable. And if I have a personal experience, if you don't believe me, that's fine. I know what I had happen. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way.
Yeah.
You can have the most concrete evidence in the world, and there will be someone that won't believe you.
That is true. That is very true. And they might argue just to argue for argument's sake. But I feel like, or they don't like it, or they're just jealous that you got it and they didn't, or you experienced it and they didn't, and they're angry because of that. But I feel like if you were going to get paid anyways, you either have to know somebody or you're going to have these experiences and not get paid while you're learning hands-on in the field anyways before you get paid to do it. Because you got to have that experience and that like intelligence, just like that, know about it anyways beforehand.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, that when we were down at Broken Bow at the asylum, that's when I got that glass thrown at me there, Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't filming, and that would have been awesome to catch on film. But You
Yes,
know,
it would.
it was still really cool because there was only three of us in that room, but and then you get to experience that. You know, I was excited, but
And after that, a lighter appeared out of thin air and hit a door that had been missing all night. The
yeah,
girl that runs the place lost her lighter at the beginning of the night before the investigating started, and it just went. We heard it go thonk against this wooden door that we walked out of, and we walked to the main entrance to get ready to leave, to roll up for the night, you know. And then we all heard that noise, and we turned around and went back, and it had hit that door and fallen on the floor out of thin air.
Interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, that was really cool. And again, you know, he wasn't filming, but
That's the only reason it happened.
yeah,
I know. None of the awesome stuff that has happened to me is on film. I don't have any, no proof whatsoever except witnesses if there were any. That's
Exactly.
it.
yeah, it's really cool, like you said, to have the, you know, you can have the personal experience, but um, yeah, it seems like they kind of, it's almost like they know when you're trying to capture them or not, you know, but
Or
yeah,
they were
that
mad we were going to leave and they were like, no, don't leave. I'm going to start putting on a show now because you're leaving.
Yeah, it's just
right.
like tossing us a little bone so we stay intrigued, but not enough.
Yeah.
Just not
Yeah,
a little taste.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joshua said, I'd rather see the raw footage anyways than the edited version.
Mm-hmm.
It
yeah,
just seems more real and personalized. And I'm not going to say intros are, you know, good when they're edited and stuff like, you know, like the little tiny thing that I did on my phone in the iMovie thing. That's all I used and a couple of apps, but, you know, not anything expensive or whatever, anything that costs a lot of money. But, yeah, I do think that live investigating, thank God the Corona blanket kind of went down, even though it's probably going to go back up
That's my
because, yeah.
concern.
Yeah,
I
because
think we're
especially for
doomed.
the Scotland thing, yeah.
but yeah, when we do our investigations, we always do them live on our Not Terror Collective page, and they're unedited. So I mean, everything that's happening is happening. You get to see it at the same time, you know,
Yep.
and that's pretty cool. That's the way we like to do it.
It's better that way because then you have, you know, dozens of eyes on it that you don't have to worry about. They're the eyes and ears of your investigation. They'd be, hey,
Yeah.
go back over there. I saw this, and you say, okay, I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Did, and it gives. And I always looked at it like this too. I have a Patreon as well. I do the same thing. I bring people exclusive access. I let them become part of the ghost hunt. These people might never get to these locations. This might
yeah,
be their only opportunity. If they can sit on their phone or on their laptop and be right there with you guys doing it and saying, hey, you know, I saw someone over there and you do it. That's awesome. That's interactive entertainment.
yeah,
That's the future, that we're living in the future. And to be able to do something like that for somebody, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and
yeah.
some people actually can't leave their homes. Like I have a friend that literally was ghost hunting and got in an accident and now is in a wheelchair
Ooh.
because of ghost hunting. So that person's not going to be going to all these places ghost hunting anymore ever again, even if that was their biggest passion. They're just not going to be able to do that. So to live vicariously through us people doing that, I feel like streaming the live investigations because they're not actually there, but they feel like they're actually there, you know?
Yeah.
And it is that way, and we do get that too. What you were saying about, you know, people pointing out things, you know, because we don't notice them when we're doing them live, you know. So it is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's
Mhm.
fun too when they interact.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
What do you do if you bring a ghost home with you? First, I'll let you answer that because you might have, you know, your own little ritual or whatever.
Well, it's funny because Erin did answer. She said, "I love that," which I do. You know, I used to find myself more prone to spirit attachments that would follow me home
Mm-hmm.
every time I go somewhere. I used to really open myself up to the point where it would be, you know, the over the top Bagans esque, like take my body, use my body, all that kind of crap. Because I try to conjure up some energy,
Yeah.
and you know what, it looks good on a camera. People are like, oh, he's crazy. It's just it's stupid. And let's be honest, it's absolutely stupid. So I've kind of reeled that in a little bit. I'm much more in tune with my spiritual side and my medium and empathic abilities and all that stuff that I still don't understand. So you'll never hear me promoting that I'm a psychic because I don't get it. I don't understand
Yeah.
it. I can't read you. Don't ask. I just know things, see things, feel things, and that's that. That's the extent of it. But as I'm learning, I'm able to protect myself more. I have a couple of different bracelets that I wear that have different crystals on them. They've been Reiki infused, which I have the belief in them working. End of the day, your belief is what's going to protect you from anything coming home. If you don't believe it, it's not going to work. A lot of people will want to talk about, surrounding yourself in white light. To me, I'm not religious. That sounds absolutely bizarre, so I don't do that because it just doesn't make sense to me. But I believe that this, 60 million year old piece of rock around my wrist that's got 60 million years of energy can. And for me, it works. So you find something that works for yourself, go with it. Does it work all the time? Absolutely not. I bring things home all the time. And I collect haunted things. I call them enchanted because I feel haunted means scary, and they're not all scary.
Yeah.
It's just energy stuck to a vessel. And I like that. I have a bunch of it. And my rooms get dozens of enchanted things around it. And we coexist just fine because there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be wary of it. So when I bring them home, if it's an attachment, it usually lasts for a day, a couple of days. It just feels like you're on autopilot, and it feels like sometimes like you're just a marionette and someone's puppeteering you through the day.
Yeah. Or do you ever feel like I call it the hamster wheel? Like there's a hamster wheel going on in your mind. You're like, stop it. What's going on here? Why can I not focus?
What's dangerous, Josh?
I think he was talking about bringing something home with you.
Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. Oh, it's not dangerous if you know what you're doing. I'm not an expert by any means, but how can you be an expert in that stuff? The closest to an expert I would say is John Zaffis, and I've been very fortunate enough to, one, be heckled by him at a lecture when I was talking about haunted objects. He came in and gave me a hard time, but he's taken a lot of time to talk to me and discuss things with me, and I look up to him. He's the one person I would say I look up to in the field. So I know the ins and outs. And if I get something that I cannot handle, which I've not encountered yet, I know where he is, and I can get it to him and get it out of my life. So we
messaged him to try to get him on the show.
Yeah, he's a solid dude. Dude.
Yes.
But yeah, if I was in a pinch, I could reach out to him. So I don't find it to be dangerous at all.
Yeah. Now, do you ever experience like Rosie will call it the paranormal hangover? Like, your energy's drained and everything.
Sickness. I call it a ghost sickness too.
Yep, I certainly do. That's another thing. I don't get that as bad anymore, but it does happen. Like, I know this coming weekend I'm going to have it because I got 2 investigations back-to-back nights, and I'm going to be a disaster. So I'm already planning that because most of us that do the paranormal investigating, ghost hunting, however you want to call it, we live off of some sort of caffeine all night.
Yeah.
Body doesn't.
This is bad for me. I'm gonna have a heart attack one day. But
body doesn't want to deal with that anyways. My go-to is a large iced coffee on the way, and then 2 bangs. I'm not my heart usually stops a few times, and like then you try to go to sleep, and you wake up after 2 hours, and you feel like
yeah.
And I don't know about you guys. You don't eat well when you're out ghost hunting either. You eat crap, like either gas station food or McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get a nice, healthy salad dinner somewhere. You're eating garbage.
No, because when you're getting out of there and it's still dark and it's in between, like day and night.
I think we make it exponentially worse by how we treat our bodies during an investigation.
Yeah.
I mean, I've learned to start bringing snacks like beef jerky and like cereal bars and stuff or whatever. But
that's
talking
for sure.
About provoking. Yeah, provoking is a slippery slope. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. Hey,
here's my stance on provoking. I don't full blown provoke. I will, however, say that it's location dependent, and I will tell you why. If I'm in a nursing home, a former nursing home or a hospital, I'm not going to go in there and be pompous and provoke anything. But if I'm in a prison, a place that was filled with scumbag people, I'm going to provoke because those people don't deserve respect, and it elicits responses. I've had a lot of success in prisons, primarily getting responses.
I've heard of that because you're matching their energy, kind of.
Yeah, and if someone's a murderer in real life, they don't deserve respect in the spirit realm either. They're still garbage people. So I don't have any remorse in ramping it up a little bit. I've had, like I said,
I would say, as long as you're smart enough to know that you need to be grounded and protected to do that, for like if a young child or a teenager's going to go do that, they should probably study a lot first before they do something like that, because they could be inviting something that they don't need.
Mm-hmm. You have to know. I've had experiences where I've provoked a little bit too much and I back off. And like, like my buddies will in this documentary, they give me a hard time because they're like, you talk the most smack, but anytime you get a response, you just reel it in. Like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I do, because like that's all I wanted was that response. I'm not trying to go any further.
They're like, we're gonna eat your soul, Matt. You're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Have some beef jerky.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's because we all watch certain people on certain shows that do that. So um, I can see where people would have a concern. So
And that's it. You have to know when and where you can do that. You also shouldn't be looking up to anybody that's on TV.
yeah,
Most
In
of the
general,
time, I'd agree.
Don't really look up to anybody in the field. We're all weirdos, just running around in the dark looking for things we can't see.
Yep.
yeah,
And adrenaline rushes.
Right way or wrong way, we're all on equal playing fields. That's why I don't understand why everybody craps all over each other. It's like, you're no better than I am, and vice versa.
yeah. That's what we try to say that all the time. It's we're doing the same things. Those it's like the people on TV got lucky and they got some breaks. But the right people, the right places, and all those things. But we're doing the same thing. We're not doing anything different than they are.
I have learned so much by collaborating with others over the past 2 years. Like we all do, because everybody does it differently too.
Yeah.
I've learned what equipment I do and don't like. I've learned what people I do and don't like. I've learned techniques I do and don't like. And it's a fantastic way to grow in the field, because no one knows more than the other. Someone might have more experience, but it doesn't make you better than me.
And if you do, then you teach that person instead of hiding it from them and not letting them know, because you're growing them. And it's only adding to you, even if you do that for them, because then they're going to be your comrade, and they're going to have your back, and they might be someone that you need help from later on.
Exactly.
Yeah, we definitely try to build those relationships with everybody, if we can. So
What does your shirt say?
what does your shirt say?
You asking me, Jeff?
Jeff wants to know.
That's my gym. That's my day job. That's what puts money in the bank.
That's funny. Bare bones.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have to pay bills somehow, because we don't do it ghost hunting.
Yeah. I mean, some people that want to be better than, yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with striving to be better than the next person, but you don't have to be a prick about it.
Or don't treat anyone less than you just because you're more experienced than them. Don't treat them like they're a peon and you're a messiah or whatever,
Yeah.
Ain't no gods here.
No.
You're talking about your shirt.
Oh, mine? Oh, yeah, I just got it. It's a late birthday present. That's why I was putting the camera on it a while ago. I was like, look at my new birthday shirt. It's a Camp Crystal Lake. Yeah. It's like the girly Camp Crystal Lake shirt with the bright colors on it.
Oh, that's good.
There was another place that was called I wrote really crappy, sorry, because that was why I said Fairfield City, because it looked like city. Similac Mansion?
Similac Mansion?
Yeah, I can't read my own writing. That's sad.
So that one I've not been to yet. That is in, I think the town is Port Sanilac, Michigan. It's about 2 hours north of Detroit. I'm doing a 2-part event out there Friday the 13th, so in 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
And there's a whole bunch of properties on the property, like 10 or 12 different buildings. There's the mansion, there's a church, there's barns, cottages, all this. It's on a lake. It's a really beautiful spot. And the history is very new to me. I tend to go to locations not knowing the history because I like to pull information from my investigations and then kind of cross-check it. But I'm going out there to lead events with the Chicks and Spirits group. And there's 2 different events. There's one from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. and it's a ladies' night out event, and it ends with like a wine and cheese thing, like probably the charcuterie board that everybody loves, that kind of stuff.
Oh,
sophisticated for me. I don't do that, but so there's that one, and then there's a traditional ghost hunt. I want to say from 9:30 to 12:30 that night as well. And we have some tickets left, but I know that's selling pretty quick, and that's Friday the 13th in 2 weeks. So,
and where's it at, Ian?
What's that?
Location? Where can they get the tickets at if someone wanted to go?
The tickets, you can find the link on either the Warner Paranormal Explorers Facebook page or the Chicks and Spirits Facebook page. And I know we've been sharing it around all the different event pages and things like that. That should be fun. That's my first foray out into that area. I've been to Detroit before, but I've not been up north of Detroit, so that'll be interesting. Should be a good time.
Where's it at again? What city?
Port Sanilac, Michigan.
I've been all over Michigan, but I don't think I've been there.
Wow. That sounds like a cool event.
It's different. I like the idea of the ladies' night out aspect. I think that's kind of cool. Gives people
that's cool
to do.
It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. You are correct, Heather.
I was gonna skip.
And I have not been to the Bel Air house, but I would love to go there because another team that we interviewed a couple of weeks ago had done some kind of documentary there, and they said it was pretty cool.
Yep, that place was on my list too. I've heard things about it, and I definitely want to check it out at some point.
Yeah, I definitely want to go there too. So I think we'll eventually get there. But it's we talk about that place, talk about Waverly, talk about Lizzie Borden, all those places that everybody knows, the Conjuring House. But it's kind of like what you were saying earlier about taking pictures of places and stuff, and kind of discovering that the unknown places. Is there more of like an unknown place where you live that you really like? That's kind of like your
or somewhere super active. That's not.
So there's a few places that I kind of hold like near and dear to the heart, so to speak. One of them is the Oliver House in Middleborough, Mass. It's a little bit more well known. It's been on some of the shows, but it's a fantastic location. They're doing well there. Then there's Wilson Castle up in Proctor, Vermont. That's getting the recognition it deserves now.
It's
built in the late 1800s. That place is fantastic. Denise, the owner, is an absolute sweetheart. I'm actually doing a fundraiser event up there in October. It's something you have to see to believe this place. It's absolutely incredible that somebody built this just as their summer home back in the late 1800s, and it cost them in 1800s. It cost like 1.2 million to build.
Oh wow!
And today stands like $40 million. So it's very grandiose, and they're putting all the money back into restoring the place the way it's meant to be. So and that's the place I had my very first real psychic experience. So it's very near and dear to my heart with that one. Highly recommend them. And another one that's on the up and up quiet is the Saratoga County Homestead in Saratoga Springs, New York, or just outside of Saratoga. It's a long way from being open to public ghost hunts. One of my best friends is the property manager there, so I go up and help with cleanup days, things like that, and then obviously I get special access and get to investigate it. It was on Destination Fear last season, so they've been there. They've had some experiences, and I had
heard of it. That's probably where I made it.
And the thing I love about Saratoga is it's raw. It is there's no windows. It's just the shell and the decrepit homestead style hospital, and it's fantastic. It was an old tuberculosis hospital, so it's got that creepy vibe. And at night,
that favorite
is like darker than dark. It's like absence of light, dark in there. You can't see in front of you, and it's spooky. We had some great experiences up there, so that's another one that currently they do day tours and they do photography tours up there, which they're very affordable. It's like a day tour is like $35 or something like that. And you can walk around for a couple hours and take all the pictures you want. Those are the ones right now that are really like my favorites.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And when they open that place up, you're going to post things about it, right?
Oh, absolutely. All these places I've been talking about, they have their Facebook pages, but I talk and post about them quite a bit too.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's tuberculosis, I'm there. I don't know why. That's my thing.
The history there, that's why. You just know unfortunate suffering, but that also leads to possible spirit stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if you believe in this, and a lot of people don't, but maybe there's some kind of connection that I have had before I knew of those places. Somehow, a person that was there, or I don't know, maybe I had tuberculosis in a past life and I died from that. I don't know. I just have this thing about tuberculosis. It's weird. It makes me excited.
I believe in past lives.
If I hear TB, I get excited. Hope. Investigating a local cemetery.
That'd be good.
Are you going to post it, Joshua, for everyone to see? You forgot your shirt, Jason. You forgot your cool shirt. He has an invisible something on there. You just can't see it.
Yeah, I'm just wearing a North Face hoodie.
Yes. So, when was your first ever interest I know you probably get asked this all the time, but it's still like important for me to ask people this because some people don't even start thinking about this stuff until like they're 20 or 30 or 40. But when was your first ever encounter that made you wonder, curious, or just start to like want to know more about the unknown, the unexplainable?
So this is where Erin can go take a bathroom break because she loves these stories. She's heard them a million times. I grew up from a very young age as a fan of horror. That's how I got into all of it. I love horror movies, and I still to this day love horror movies. So for me, it started as a love of horror, and then so I was younger. My grandparents lived next door, and their house was haunted, which I believe was my great grandmother because she passed away in the house. I never had any experiences in there, but they used to tell me all the ghost stories and all the things that would happen to them in the house. So I always had that seed planted that these things were real. I had a couple of unexplained things happen when I was younger. Like one night I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw a shadow behind my door, which very well could have been anything. It could have been, sleepy eyes, anything. But I surely didn't check it out. I said, you know what, not interested, and I went back to sleep. I was probably 6 or 7. I remember being young. Then as I got a little bit older, they started coming out with the TV shows. Like Unsolved Mysteries came out, and around Halloween every year they would do the special episode about ghosts, and that was always my favorite with those kinds of unexplained mysteries. Then Sightings came along, and that was oh hey D. The Sightings was awesome because that's what introduced me to the Sally House, Atchison, Kansas. I remember that episode as vividly as humanly possible. I was like, holy crap, this stuff really happens to people. Like, this is awesome. And so I absorbed as much as I could of that. And it was long before Ghost Hunters came on the air, or the paranormal shows. So obviously it was before Google and the internet. So I would go get books, and I had all the different books. I had Hans Holzer books, and I had some.
Me too.
I still have all of them, and the Weird New England, Weird Massachusetts. So I would just read and research and see about all these cool places, and just make notes like, oh, someday I'm going to go here, someday I'm going to do this. And fortunately, I didn't have any friends that were into it. People weren't into it. And I still, to this day, all my local friends, they don't care about this. That's why I leave here all the time and go meet up with my weirdos across the country. But my first real experience, it changed my entire perspective on it. There was like a paragraph in one of those books, and it was about a road that's about 20 minutes, half hour from where I live. I said, you know what? I'm going to go check this road out. The road itself is about a mile or so long. The first half of it cuts through a very ritzy neighborhood, and then the second half cuts through conservation land, which used to be Native American land, which at the end of the day, everything was Native American land. So it was theirs, and it's protected and conserved. So there's nothing developed there. It's just a cut through road, and it's narrow and like 1.5 lanes wide. So I must have gone up and down this road 100 times with no activity. Now the activity reported was kind of similar to other Bridgewater Triangle lore. It's like, oh, there's cryptids, giant thunderbirds, Native Americans that are 8 feet tall, and UFOs. And I'm like, cool, I'll sign me up for all of it. I want all of it. So for probably a year or two, myself and any friends I could drag along would go up and down this road. We'd walk up and down the road. Nothing would ever happen. One night it was just me and one of my friends, and it was a January night. It was warm, no snow or rain on the ground, and I got out of work, picked him up, and we were going to go down the road because we literally had nothing to do. At 19 years old, there's nothing else to do. And he was always kind of a scaredy cat anyways, and I always played off that. I love that because I'm that friend. So we're going down there, and I said, hey, you know what I'm going to do tonight, man? I said, I think I'm going to stop in the middle of the road. Just, put the brakes on. He's like, God, please don't do that. Don't do that. I'm like, nah, it'll be fine. Don't even worry about it. Knowing damn well I'm going to do that. So what we would do is we would drive down the road. You go through the neighborhood. You cut through the second half, like a half a mile of, rugged woods road. Turn around at the end and come back so you get the double take instead of going out to the other main road. So we're cruising down, and it's probably like low 50s this night. It's really bizarre weather for New England in the winter. So we go to the end, turn around, get the windows down. We come back, creeping through, and about halfway through this portion of the road, slowly put my foot on the brake, and he's like looking. He's like, don't do this. And I said, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Bring my foot to a complete stop with the brake. I turn off the lights in my truck. The minute I turn the lights off, directly in front of my truck, I see 2 white hands on my hood. I see up the arm, white arms. I get white, and I didn't see the head because I freaked out, and I flipped the lights on, and I floored it. but my truck wouldn't move. It just spun and spun and spun as if it was being held. He's freaking the hell out. I don't even know what's happening at this point. It seems like an eternity. It was probably a 2-second thing. All of a sudden, the truck moves, but it doesn't go forward. It goes to the side as if it was shoved, as if someone was like, pfft. And now I'm fighting the wheel because I've been flooring the gas pedal. The truck's going about 60 miles an hour, and I'm trying to fight the wheel to get back to stay on the road. He's screaming at me, "Don't do this! Don't do this to me! It's not funny. I can't control it." I'm yelling back at him, I can't control it. The last second, I'm able to grab the wheel and get it back on the road before hitting a massive tree on the side of the road. And we went through that neighborhood at about 60, 65 miles an hour to get to the main road. We got to the main road, and I kept going for a while until it was very populated. I pulled over, and it was like I had a cell phone at the time. It was an early cell phone. And I pulled over, and I said, "What did you? What happened?" I said, "What'd you see?" And he said, "I saw a woman in a white gown standing in front of your truck with her hands on the hood." And I said, "That is exactly what I saw too." And we were completely bugged out. Like, I remember I called my mom because she was always fascinated by it too. She would drive up and down the road herself with her friend and our boyfriend at the time and my brother. But it was just like, okay, something is out there. Now I really want to explore this stuff. Now I know what's out there. And it's one of those stories that sounds completely out of control, made up. It's not.
No, I believe it.
It happened. He still brings up, he's like, he hasn't been down that road since, and this was 20 plus years ago. I didn't go back down there for years, and I haven't been down there in years. It's something I just don't think about it right now until it's asked. I'm not going to get my truck after this, but it's time to go down the road. I'm not interested, but I will definitely go back down it again. But that was the moment for me where I was like, all right, now I'm going to investigate this, and I want to see more stuff, and I want to see what else I can find in the world.
Wouldn't you want to go know exactly what it was and why was that strong?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would want to know. How was it that strong, and what was it that was that strong? What made it that strong?
As I've done this for so long now, I look back on it and wonder if it was one of those things, kind of like we said, it's always caught off camera as this like his bone. It was could have been one of those things. It's like, this idiot has wasted a year of his life driving up and down this road. It's time to give him a show. Maybe he'll leave us alone now. And I did for a very long time. So, everything's theoretical in this field. So,
either that or like, hey, look at this sucker over here. You want to play around with these guys and make them pee in their pants? Could have been one of those. Watch this.
That was definitely the most hair-raising experience I've ever had, before or after. Still the top dog.
I've had something kind of like that happen to me, but almost like the opposite. I got in a really bad wreck, and I hydroplaned. And my vehicle was a very small compact car, and it spun and it spun and it spun, and it was on the interstate. So I'm going this way, and there's another side, but there's all those spindles with the wires going through them to separate the two sides. And my car hit that and bounced back off of it, and it was facing the opposite direction that I should have been traveling, and it just stopped. Well, I thought it did. When I was facing that direction, an 18-wheeler was coming toward my car. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Yep.
Something that your story just like made me think of is it felt like something like you're talking about, grabbed my car like a Hot Wheels and turned it around out of the road.
Guardian angel. Who knows what that was?
And didn't let me get crushed to death by that 18-wheeler. It was crazy. But it reminded me of the person or thing that did that to your car.
There are so many things that we'll never be able to explain or understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. But that's also too kind of goes along with why I always say there's really no experts in like what we do, because we're always learning and then discovering new things. So
and there's nothing tangible that we can put on the table.
Yeah.
No, and all of those powers wouldn't let us know nothing up there is going to let us know all the answers anyways. You know what I mean? They're not going to give us all the answers. If they do, they're going to make us think something else. Huh?
I don't think most of us really want the answers, because then the quest is over.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. It goes back again to like the people the guys you see on TV, people think they're experts. Like they're not. I mean, they're not experts. They're any more experts than us, It's just they're on TV. That's the only difference, guys.
Right place, right time.
Right. We're out here doing the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
But to have those experiences, that it could have been somebody listening to your story just, a minute ago that maybe the first time they've heard something like that, and like that's crazy. I want to know more about it.
Or they had something similar happen to them, and they were like, "Holy crap! That is something like that happened to me too, and I'm not crazy."
Yeah, or they're like, he's full of crap, and that's fine too.
Yeah, I mean that happens too. Teams.
What is your opinion of investigation teams comprised of psychics? That's interesting.
See, so I believe in psychics because, like I said, I have some abilities. But the thing is, it's like anything. It's really hard to prove that you're a psychic. There are some that it's very easily to prove. They can tell you something about yourself that no one would ever know as proof. But there are a lot of people also that are full of baloney. We all know it. There's people out there that are just trying to sell tickets to events or trying to sell books that aren't psychic. They can lie to your face, and you have to take it at face value because they're telling you that. They can't prove it to you. You can't prove it to them. In terms of investigations, I've seen successful teams with psychics, and I've seen the opposite. I've worked with some I truly believe in. I've worked with some that are so full of crap that I couldn't be in the same room as them. I just feel like if
me too. I'm sorry, this makes me laugh because I remember
you cannot just take a psychic's word for it. You can use that as investigative materials. If they say, "Oh, little Susie died over in this room," you can try to piece that together with evidence you may find through the night or interactions you may have with a spirit. You can't just take that as face value. It just isn't. It doesn't work. You're setting yourself up for failure, and unfortunately, too many people believe every psychic that they come across.
Yeah.
And I'm not here bashing psychics for anyone that just tuned in. Like, oh, he hates psychics. I don't. But you have a lot of proof to put up for me to believe you. Plain and simple.
Yeah. I don't even like the word psychic. I always tell my daughter, like, she's asked me about it before, because I don't like to say, "Hey, I'm psychic," or "I can do this," or "I can do that." I don't like tell people that kind of stuff. But I'm like, there's connected, then there's more connected, then there's more connected. And I was like, there's just different levels of connection that people have. And I feel like that's how I would describe it. Or different ways that they're connected. That they have experiences based on.
I'm gonna have to look into that, Adam. That's pretty crazy. That's a a lore that's actually happened to other people.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I've heard other people talk about the triangle. Lots of people have mentioned it, and it's very interesting to me, like of all the stuff that happens in just a small area, really. Because you got all aspects of the paranormal, like you were saying, UFOs and cryptids and all that stuff. It's not just ghost related, and that's really cool. It's like what makes that area that special, like what draws all that activity there. I'm just kind of like to focus on what that is.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the theories is the epicenter of the Bridgewater Triangle is called the Hockomock Swamp, and it is 16,000 acre swampland. And I forget, I don't have it off the tip of my head. Hockomock is a native word for something, and they believe that the land is somewhat cursed, and that's why all these things happen in the general area. I've been out in different parts of the swamp, had some experience. I've done some nighttime investigating out there. It's very strange out there. We have in this area and I think the lore of them has traveled around the country now as well, but we have what's called puckwudgies here.
Oh, yeah.
So you've heard of those?
I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, what is it, though? I've heard of it, but I don't remember.
So a puckwudgie is a Native American elemental spirit. It was never human.
Okay, that's what I
think. And they originated in Cape Cod, and they were created and born, so to speak, out of necessity. It was when population was really low and the natives needed help. So these little spirits were created, manifested, however you want to look at it, to help them. And then as population grew, the need of them became less and less, and they kind of got pushed aside, and they became spiteful and kind of mean. And they're known to be mischievous, trouble-causing. They will reportedly try to push you off of cliffs, lead you to cliffs. They'll try to trip you in the forest. They'll try to separate you from groups and lead you apart, get you lost. I've encountered, and they're about 2 or 3 feet high. I've seen out of my peripheral one 6 or 7 times. And one time I saw the damn thing at my gym, which blew my mind. And out of the peripheral, it looked like a tumbleweed rolled by. And I was like, what the absolute hell? And you know, you look and it's not there. Another time, I was in my gym also, and I don't know if it was one of these things, if it was a different kind of spirit thing, but I have a tendency to dance like no one's watching because they aren't. So I got my headphones on, just in between sets, just goofing around. Felt something come up next to me, and I thought it was my daughter, and I went like this, and I went backwards because I thought I was going to hit her, and there was nothing there. And I was like, well, what the hell? So the most recent experience I had with the Pukwudgie, they're rampant in the woods behind the Oliver House, of all places. I spend more time now in the woods there than I do the actual house because I'm so fascinated by it. But I was there with my friend Kenna last year in October, and we were out in the woods, just two of us. And as we're walking further into the woods, we're hearing things off on either side. And you get to a certain point in the woods where, one, you either feel uncomfortable and you want to turn around, or you are a mile from the house and it's like, we got to go all the way back now. So we're heading back. We're hearing things on either side of us. And that is one of the reported things, is that they like to break you apart and confuse you. Then we start hearing things hitting the ground. I'm like, what the hell is that? And it's acorns, but they're not just falling out of the tree, like big acorns being thrown. Yeah. One got thrown at my feet. That thing thumped when it hit the ground. And we went, whoa, what the hell was that? And we're looking around and we don't see anything. And now we're kind of spooking each other out because, like, this is weird. You know, I don't want to be out here. You don't have to believe Aaron. I'll just sacrifice you to them when you come over.
So, it looks like pick wedgies. I'm sorry. But you wrote it out.
I'd rather deal with that. But as we're walking back off to my left, she's on my right, I'm on my left, and there's like a little bit of scrub brush pine trees, like 2-3 foot tall pine trees. And we both see something running through it. It's bipedal. It's on 2 feet. It's about 2 to 3 feet tall, but we can't see it. We can just see, you know how Predator in the movies, like it's kind of glowy and visible?
Yeah.
That's how this thing looked. And
yeah.
It ran about 10 feet, and you saw the branches going like this. And then it just kind of, like, its form looked back at us, and we're like, what the friggin' hell is going on? And then it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, all right, so we both saw, thank God she saw it too, because that's something that we both saw, and it's like, same thing. I don't care if you believe me. I know what.
Did it have a color to it at all? Like,
no idea. But those things are out here too.
Wow, that's crazy. I listened to a podcast called Paranormal Punchers. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they're kind of up that way, and they talk about the triangle, and they've covered Pukwudgies before, so they talked all about them and kind of what they do. Kind of what you were saying is kind of what they were talking about. You know, it's what they do.
Yep.
It's interesting. I always thought they were interesting. I always thought any kind of cryptid / spirits or like that are very very, very interesting to me, and they also warrant more investigation. So.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Fioli? Get to see you too soon, bud.
Didn't you say his name earlier?
Yes, I was promoting Project Mask earlier and saying how good you are at editing.
Yeah, like you said, he wouldn't be watching. I think, is that the one?
No, I was talking about Adam. Adam's definitely not watching.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying he won't be watching this. Wrong person. Yeah. Did they have a color to them?
The Pukwudgies?
Huh?
So the only way I can describe it is, because again, I've only seen it out of my peripheral, is I've seen them kind of like those critters from the movie Critters.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Short, fuzzy, like maybe not so toothsome, but that's what I picture them to look like. I've never seen one full on, and I actually don't know if I want to, because I don't know if you lock eyes with one if something real bad happens. But but I know I've seen them, and I know I've had one around me numerous times. I don't know if it's something that they follow you, but I've experienced it.
Or maybe they're just watching you.
Never know.
To figure out what we do here on Earth, what human people do.
I don't know. That's interesting. But do you follow more of like any of the cryptid stuff, like Bigfoot or anything like that?
I don't really follow much of the cryptid stuff, but I believe that anything is possible. I like that some people now believe that Bigfoot's an interdimensional being. I think that's kind of a cool thought. albeit ridiculous. It's still kind of a cool thought. It's really just an explanation of why we've not seen one, I think.
Right.
I wonder if they bury their dead, and that's why we've never found a corpse.
Right. Yeah. The experts and stuff, the experts, they say that they do, like they do bury their dead. That's what I've been told by a lot of them, and I guess that, I mean, that's makes sense because, like you said, I don't understand how we can't find a body, but then that's the only explanation
They
to me.
could do other things that would get rid of the body too, though. They could throw them, like, or burn them, or eat them, or
very,
I mean,
very.
who knows?
It could be anything. I feel like we would have found evidence by now of something that's tangible, but who knows?
I mean, we do, but not typically in America, but other civilizations with weird shaped heads that are very Homo sapien like have been found.
Oh, like the Neanderthal skulls and things like that.
Yeah, and different. I don't know, thought to be different races or whatever, or our ancestors or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I do think anything's possible. I've had my UFO experience, so I definitely know that that's a thing. And imagine how sad it would be if we were the best thing that the universe had to offer.
Yeah, I'd be very disappointed.
It has to be better than this.
Yeah, if the worst excuse to hunt paranormal anything is that, at least it gives a little grain of hope that we're not the best thing out there.
Yeah.
They're probably looking at us and not coming here anymore because of what we've done to the earth.
Yeah, stupidity leak.
Yeah, for sure. They I'm sure, I mean, there are UFOs and there are aliens, and it's crazy kind of what you just said. It's crazy to think that would be the only thing out there. It's just,
I don't think we are. Like, I don't even doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's crazy thought, but
there's too much just unexplainable everything, and just out in the cosmos. It's just too wondrous.
Infinite universe ahead of here, so we're not that smart as a general consensus. There has to be better.
Yeah, I would think, for sure. Let's see what happened to Courtney. I don't know.
I don't know. We don't have very much longer, but I want you to tell everyone to tell them again about your Friday the 13th event and where they can get purchase tickets to attend that, because I think that's a cool idea to promote.
Thank you.
And it's a cool thing.
That event is at the Sanilac Mansion in Port Sanilac. I think it's I'm probably ruining the town's name. I'm sorry if anyone lives there. Port Sanilac, Michigan. It's somewhere 2 hours north of Detroit in Michigan. It's Friday, August 13th. Friday the 13th, which is the only Friday the 13th this whole calendar year, so it's kind of cool. There's two options. There's a ladies' night out one from 6 to 9:30 p.m. and then or 6 to 9 p.m. and then 9:30 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. for the regular investigation. The tickets are available on Eventbrite. You can also find the links on the Warner Paranormal Explorers Facebook page or the Chicks and Spirits Facebook page. We'll be sharing those out again. I'll be sharing that event link probably after this so that you guys that are interested can check it out. Project Mass Media, which is a fantastic group of people that I'm a part of. We have our debut docuseries coming out on Amazon Prime sometime in the fall, but we will be debuting it at MadCon, which is at Madison Seminary. That is September 17th and 18th. All proceeds raised from MadCon go to cystic fibrosis research. So it's a whole charity event. We're all going to be there promoting the event. We will be also appearing at another convention that we haven't been announced for yet, so I can't say that. But yeah, you can find myself and my quiet teammates, Warner Paranormal Explorers, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Do a lot of live investigations now on TikTok. Those are a lot of fun. Patreon as well, Warner Paranormal Explorers. It's very easy to find me and us. And Project Mass Media is also across all socials as Project Mass Media.
Is it one word or 3 words?
On Instagram, it's official Project Mask Media, all one word.
Mask, like a mask?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You'll find us. We're there. We have a lot more in store. This is the first of many documentaries that we're going to do, and we're going bigger and better with each one. So the next one that we do will be sometime end of this year, early next year, and it'll blow your socks off. We have an investigate on a location that we want to do that's not really done.
That's cool. Yeah, that's pretty exciting, man. You guys
Yeah.
got a lot going on, so
We
it's
do. And since I'm here, I'm going this weekend with Haunted Nights. We are doing Moundsville Penitentiary on Friday night. We're doing the old hospital on College Hill Saturday night. There's still a couple of tickets left for both of those events, and those are going to be a great time as well. So, plenty of opportunities to come out and do some stuff.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome. Sorry, I should have wrote more questions down because I feel stupid and awkward when I don't have enough questions to ask. But I did have one and I just forgot it that I didn't write down. But I do want to show y'all something really weird, anyways, because we have a few minutes left. And I went to a yard sale the other day, and there was this really yucky, nasty, creepy doll, and the people there made me take it.
That's fine.
They said, "Do not look in, huh?" They said, "Don't look in its eyes, though." And I was like, "It has no eyes." So you can hear its eyes in its head. I don't know if you can
Did
see
they
it.
get pushed into his eye sockets or something?
Yeah, and they're inside there. You can see them. It's like they're actually dangling back and forth inside the head. So I
Oh,
can't even tell if it's a man or a woman. It looks like a little old woman. And it's like really dirty. I collect dolls, but I haven't collected very many of them in a really long time. I just kind of stopped because I ran out of room because I have way too many baby dolls and dolls. But he's really weird and I just thought he was creepy. And Jason hates dolls, so I love to show dolls when
that's
Jason's
funny.
on
My
here.
buddy Steve hates them too, and I have a whole bunch of them that I
Yeah.
bring on location when we do events.
No, no, I don't do
This
dolls.
would be a good one to experiment with.
No.
We should do that with this one,
Absolutely, great
Jason,
trigger
when
object.
we go somewhere. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have all kinds of weird
dolls.
trigger objects, but I'd never take dolls.
Dolls and
Huh?
clowns. You got no. You guys can have your dolls and clowns. I
Yeah, we
don't.
take music boxes, balls, bells, like a stack of quarters, just like all kinds of stuff, and other electronic things or whatever. But I've never taken it all, so
You never know what you're going to bring home with it.
I have no
That's
more
true.
comments. Yeah, Georgia Hope. Everyone, I'm from
Uh,
Georgia. Hope everything's doing well. Georgia, I was just there a couple weeks ago, and they have so much haunted stuff. Have you been to Georgia? Anywhere in Georgia,
Yep, I've been. I was
Matt?
just down. I was in Savannah earlier this year. I've got Savannah in September again. Did the Sorrel Weed House when I was there last.
Yeah.
yeah, I want to go there.
Yep, it was. That's an interesting place. I've been there a couple times now, and there's definitely something going on. It's got a bizarre history that you wonder what is the true story of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, everything in Savannah is
Mm-hmm.
basically that place
Right.
is something else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a house that we investigate here in Little Rock, Arkansas called the Fee House, and I guess the guy that owned it or owns it, Drew, he had told us that he's gone to. I didn't go to Savannah. I went to many other parts of Georgia, but I didn't go and do anything at any of the places in Savannah. Um, but he said that he had went to Savannah and everything there's haunted. And
Yeah, just
Howard lives
about.
in New Orleans, and Howard said in New Orleans, basically like everything's haunted, which everybody kind of knows that, I guess.
I haven't been to New Orleans yet. That's on my short list. That's where I want to go for Halloween one year and really live
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, he said to go there on Halloween. There's a voodoo shop there, and he's really good friends with all of the people that run it and own it. And they do a Halloween thing, like out in the street there on Halloween, down in the French
That's
Quarter.
I want to take my daughter, but I want to wait till she's a little older so she truly appreciates it. So
Yeah, that
wait a
also
couple
might
years.
be. Teach her some kung fu first or something.
Yeah.
Pepper
But
spray.
Myrtle's Plantation's high on my bucket list. That's a place I've always wanted to stay at. So if I'm going to New Orleans, I'm going to make my way over there and stay a night. So
oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's
That place
cool. I
is
didn't know.
awesome.
Awesome, Jeff. I didn't know that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
said that that's his location. I think he's trying to get into Howard. I think they're trying to get into the Myrtles Plantation. I don't know if they've been there or not.
yeah, that place
you
has always
serious?
fascinated me.
Who is that? They're going to go to the Fee House this weekend. Well, it's
Cool.
9:30, everybody. Thank you guys all for watching, and thanks for all the questions, participation. I didn't post it, the Eventbrite link for September 24th and 25th. If you go to the Facebook page Temple Fearfest Paracon, and there's a link on there, and then there's an event page on that main page, and you can click on it, and also has a link to buy tickets, support by getting a vendor's booth, or by being a sponsor. And we'd love to see everybody there. Everybody have a good night, and thanks for watching, and thank you, Matt, for being with us.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Everybody
Appreciate
be creepy.
Bye, guys.
Night.
Bye.